Hi, my name is Katie Gibbs. I'm a teacher here at Whitfield Aspin School for one of the SEN classes, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the recovery curriculum and what I've done this term and perhaps how I'm going to use it next term as well. The recovery curriculum was designed by Professor Barry Carpenter and developed as a response to loss of routine, structure, friendship, opportunity and freedom caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. These losses can trigger anxiety in any child. The recovery curriculum is a way for schools to help children come back into school, acknowledging their experiences that they've had. We want the children to be happy and feel safe and engaged in their learning. We've decided that a way to achieve this for the children is to acknowledge the importance of helping them lever back into school using the 5 levers of the recovery curriculum. Lever 1 is all about relationships. When children return to school, they may have forgotten how to be in such close proximity to each other, to other adults, to groups of children, or even how to be on their own because they may have been in close proximity to lots of people at home. It's important to plan for relationships to be rebuilt and not to expect it just to happen. Plan for children to have time to play or learn with a variety of group sizes. For those children with SEN, we need to plan for them to be next to each other as well, not just learning with each other. We need to plan for adult interaction and also to plan to keep quiet and allow the children to interact with each other at their own pace and on their own terms without us interjecting too much. Lever 2 is about community. For many of our children, they recall the last feeling or thought that they had, or the most dominant feeling or thought, or they'll refuse to think about some parts of lockdown that they didn't like or that generated a negative feeling. It's important to encourage them to think about all aspects of their time at home and for them to have a more balanced view and process those negative feelings so they don't build it into something huge that they can't verbalise or regulate. It's important to get a clear picture of what the children have experienced, and to do this we used a range of activities that were practical and fun, but that also encouraged them to reflect on their time at home and to draw out what had been good and what they'd enjoyed, what they hadn't enjoyed, what had been bad, what had been negative, what challenged them and what they'd missed. And in that way we were able to pinpoint those losses and build on their successes. When the losses and the negativities were identified, we used an emotion board or emotion cards to unpick these and help the children regulate themselves. These little lockdown jars were really useful. They made us think very carefully about what had gone well during lockdown and what hadn't, and that was the same for those children that were in school throughout lockdown and the ones that are at home. Lever 3 was about a transparent curriculum. For some pupils, they've got real anxieties when they return about not being able to do things anymore. I've forgotten how to read or add up or to write. They need reassurance that they will relearn and remember these things together. For lots of our children, the parents also have those same anxieties. They've fallen behind or haven't done enough home learning, those sorts of things. So it's important to make the tasks that we do not threatening, practical and fun, so they can build on their confidence and realise that they can do these things before deciding that they can't or that they won't. An anxious child can't learn. A happy child having fun won't actually realise that they're learning. So we made lots of the tasks in school fun, practical based activities. We also did a whole unit using the book The Way I Feel by Janann Kane and specifically discussed feelings and emotions. And we pinpointed the things that had gone well and we pinpointed the negative feelings. The book enabled us to introduce a much wider variety of vocabulary to the pupils with SEN and particularly ASD, who often have a very narrow understanding of emotions and feelings. So they would use largely happy, sad and cross, but the book introduced disappointed, shy, frustrated, joyful, thankful. And we really thought about these emotions and linked them to things that had happened during lockdown. We wrote these feelings on trees. We wrote them on the leaves, the feeling on the front, and then on the back we wrote an example of something that had made them feel that way, something that had made them scared or cross or frustrated or thankful. We also talked about the things that had stayed the same and the things that we would hope we'd be able to do soon. So the things that hadn't changed on the sunshine, and we made a lovely rainbow of hope of all the things that we couldn't wait to do next. The whole process helped the children to process and to really think about the lockdown period. For some, that had been life at home, and for some that had been time in school, not with their usual friends or class teachers. Whatever their experience, they were able to contribute to that unit of work. Lever 4, metacognition. The children's experiences and learning styles and opportunities at home will have differed vastly. Some will have had access to learning or no learning, learning through play or doing art. Others would have done learning only via apps or websites. Some have been supported while others would have been left entirely to their own devices. We needed to create opportunities in the classroom to allow the children to talk about those learning experiences at home. We tried to provide a range of experiences different from those at home that would encourage the children to chat while they were doing those tasks. Not just talk about the learning, but also about other things. Make links to other things, other experiences, help them make sense of what they'd lost, what they'd learnt, what they'd loved and what they'd longed for. We also started to build up our daily routines, not in terms of vast quantity of learning or academics or written work, but just to give the day structure and a sense of pattern about school life. We made sure that these were daily reading times, either with the children reading or with adults reading to them. We made sure there were snack times and break times, quiet times, for which for many had been missing completely because they were in a noisy household. Sometimes we'd lay on the floor and have bubbles blown, but there was a quiet time on a daily basis. And we included art and yoga on a daily basis as well, and made sure the end of the day routine remained the same every day, just to give the children some consistency. And finally, lever 5, space. Space needs to enclose both physical space and space from learning. Space from noise and space from receiving and processing information, especially for our ASD children. And space from social interactions. The children in our SEN group need space in different ways. They need that time where it's quiet to give their brains a little break from processing difficult information and emotions. They need space to learn and enjoy routine and get back into those safe feelings that they get from being at school. They need space to be themselves, by themselves, not the version of themselves that they are when their siblings or their parents are around. And for some, coming back can be really tricky, because coming back means coming back to masking that ASD and those behaviours that come naturally at home that we don't see in school. So we need to support them to regulate their emotions and understand those feelings. The recovery curriculum is built on the 5 levers as a systematic relationship-based approach to reignite the flame of learning in each child. We want our children to return to school, and for that return to be filled with feelings of trust and safety and peace and belonging. For us to achieve that, we need to rebuild the relationships, reduce the anxieties and reconnect with our children to reignite the school community. I hope you found that useful. At the end of this video, there are links for more information and resources that are available. Thank you very much for watching.